Hey everyone, it's me, Sarah. I know I look a lot different from how I used to look. This is the start of a brand new me in literal ways. So before, when I was making videos, I was doing them from Sandpoint, Idaho, and I love Sandpoint. If any of you have never been there, you should definitely go on vacation there. It's a beautiful resort town with mountains and a huge freshwater lake, and it's a beautiful place. Um, so that's where I am from. But I, Jedi, hi Jedi. But I just recently changed up my entire life. And although I loved Sandpoint very much, and I was born and raised in Idaho, I've traveled a lot and I was just ready for a new adventure. And so I started journaling. What would I love? What would I love? And what kept coming back to me was some common themes. One, I wanted to get a horse again. The last horse I had, I sold him about 5 years ago, and I missed him so much, and I regretted selling him. And so I told myself, I'm going to get myself a horse again, for sure. But I didn't want to do it in Idaho because there's such a small window out of the year where you can actually enjoy your horse. Between, fall, winter, and spring, and the mud and the gray days and the bad weather and lots of snow and ice, I really wanted to be able to enjoy a horse all year round. Also, the town that I had mentioned has gotten quite expensive. Cost of living has really increased there, like probably quadruple to what it was prior to COVID. And so I wanted to be able to buy a house. And I couldn't afford to buy a house there anymore. Even though I was born and raised in Idaho, all of the out-of-staters moved in and drove the prices way high. And so, although I was saving for my 5-acre horse property, that dream quickly became out of reach. So I wanted a horse. I wanted to own my own property before I could no longer afford to do so, because it's kind of happening across the country right now with real estate prices. And I also love tropical fruit, and you can't get good tropical fruit in Idaho. So I'm like, okay, making all these lists. I wanted to be somewhere close to international airports so that I could travel again. I hadn't really done a lot of traveling in the last decade or so, and that's part of my identity. And every time I would fly, Spokane International Airport was the nearest one to where I lived. It was an hour and a half away. That part wasn't the problem. It was the fact that every time you fly anywhere or come back, you're always routed to like Seattle first and then to Spokane. And I wanted to be near an airport where it was a major hub and not a place that you had to get routed around first, because I've spent multiple times getting stuck in Seattle trying to get home. So, anyways, started making this list, and even though I didn't know how it was going to happen, I just had faith that it was. I started watching Kathleen Cameron. I don't know how many of you know her, but she's amazing. Go look up her YouTube channel. So I was practicing learning how to manifest things. So anyways, my choices at this point, especially being able to afford real estate, were getting narrowed down to like Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, maybe the Carolinas, Virginia, and Florida. And Florida quickly became the easy choice for me. I am a horse person through and through, and Ocala, Florida, is known as the horse capital of the world. And so I wanted to be around people that shared my same interests, and that it was like the culture of the town that I was moving to. So another advantage with Ocala is, even though it's not right next to a major airport like Tampa or Orlando, it's right in between the two. And it's only an hour and a half drive to either one, so I have choices and options. Also, Gainesville has an airport. It's closer proximity wise, but it's a more of a rural drive, so it takes about an hour to an hour and a half again. But anyways, it gives me options. And oh yes, Ocala. It's inland. It's like in the northern center part of the state, and so we don't get the bad hurricanes here either. And that was something I figured if I'm going to experience Florida for the first time, I wanted to be here where I felt somewhat safe. And since I've never experienced hurricanes before. So anyways, I took vacation time from my job and I loaded up my U-Haul, towed my Honda Ridgeline behind me. My mom ended up flying up from Arizona to do the drive with me. And my mom and myself and my pup, we drove across the country down to Florida. Of course, I had also sold my house by that time. And that was part of manifesting as well. It was just a single wide mobile home. And I manifested how much I wanted for it. And I kept visualizing that I'm going to get a full price offer and kept positive about it. Did everything the real estate agent asked me to do. We staged it. I painted it, gave it a fresh, makeover, and it worked. And I loved that house too. It served me for the old me, and now there's the new me. And I really, really feel like there's this delineation that happened. So another example is my hair. I've always had long hair my entire life. So then I started chopping it. I cut it here, and then I cut it here, and next thing we know, I went here. And I know this is maybe a little extreme, but it's perfect for Florida. It's humid down here, and my hair is naturally curly, and it just frizzes out like crazy. And also in the past, things like having to fix my hair again would stop me from wanting to work out because it was such a pain to have to go shower and fix my hair all over again because it's not the kind of hair that will just dry naturally and be sleek and pretty. So I figured, you know what? It's a symbolic chop off. I'm going to take it all off and completely start over. Let it grow out fresh. And, I might keep it short for a while because, in all honesty, it's been so nice to just get out of the shower, put a little bit of like mousse in it or something, and just walk out the door. That's been wonderful. Another change that I made is I used to be the kind of person that would wear makeup. Like when I went to the office, I wore makeup. And, I liked it. I like wearing makeup, don't get me wrong. But I just had this craving that I wanted to be loved for who I am. I wanted to be accepted for who I am. I wanted to take off all the filters. I wanted to only surround myself with people that didn't care what I looked like and saw me for who I am and are in my world for the right reasons. And so previous YouTube videos, I probably had makeup on in most of them. Even the fact that I have like silver hair coming through. Previous me, no way, right? I had to always keep my hair dyed. But new me, I'm presenting myself raw and unfiltered. I am who I am, and I'm practicing self-love, self-acceptance, and I've been learning that people will treat you exactly as you teach them to treat you. And so for me, I'm loving myself first, and then I only want to attract into my life the people that will love me for the right reasons. So, so many changes, you guys, so many changes. So then I got here to Florida, and about like 2-3 weeks after I got here, I no longer had a paycheck because the company that I had worked for had a policy that even though I worked remotely, I wasn't able to work out of their service territory. So when I decided to move to Florida, I knew that I would no longer have a job as well. And believe me, it's scary, but I'm changing that. I'm changing that word into excitement. Fear and excitement are very similar. It's really just how you frame it. So I'm here. I have this new mortgage, which is higher than I've ever paid before. But I'm a new person, and I'm bringing into my life new opportunities. And one of those things that I did to make this work was this wall here. It didn't exist before. It actually was a dining room on the other side, but I added a wall, and now I have separation from me and the guest bedrooms. So like the door in the back is my master bedroom and bathroom, And then my living room here is my area, completely separated off from the guest bedrooms and the guest bathroom. And so now they have their own entryway and they have a shared bathroom, and I have one long-term roommate, and the other rooms I'm renting out on Airbnb. And that's been a fun adventure as well. So that's going to help me be able to afford my new mortgage. So I guess the moral of this whole story is one to update everybody on what Sarah been doing, because I know people just got like notices on Facebook, hey, I'm in Florida now, and people don't really know the backstory. But the other moral of the story is, when you're driving a car at night, your headlights only shine so far, but we're cruising along at like 75 miles an hour, trusting that we will see what we need to see, and adjust accordingly, right? You can't see all the way to your destination. You can only see about 200 feet or yards ahead of you at a time. And so that's how this whole entire life change has been for me. I could only see a little bit ahead of me, and I didn't know exactly how it was all going to transpire. I was juggling balls. I didn't know exactly how they were going to land, but I just kept that vision ahead of me of what I wanted and what would make me happy, what would I love. And so here I am. I'm starting over. I'm completely rebuilding a new version of me, a fit and athletic me, a girl that has a horse and gets to ride it all year round, a place where Jedi and myself can hop on a flight and be in Europe or Central America or South America within hours. Non-stop flight. Heck yeah. No more layovers. The YouTube channel. I love doing interviews. That's way more fun for me than just sitting here talking about myself. So I'm planning on doing lots of more interviews, you guys. And what I'm doing for work, this is the most exciting part for myself. So I have the kind of brain that I can't really focus on one thing. I'm so excited about so many different things. But again, when I kept journaling, it kept coming back to a few common themes. So I have a passion for horses and travel. So I started a company called World Equestrian Club.com. The website's currently being built. So what I'm going to be doing is planning trips, international horseback riding trips with a handful of people. For example, we're going to go to Peru. We're going to ride horses, probably Peruvian paso horses, through the mountain villages on the way up to see Machu Picchu. And we're going to spend the night and in the little villages along the way, experience the culture, and see it all between a horse's ears. Parts of the landscape that most people never see, and experiencing it real and unfiltered again. That's something that's important to me. I'm not the kind of person that wants to go on vacation and be around crowds and crowds of people and see the same things that everybody else sees. I want to have the authentic, real, unfiltered, raw experience. And so I'm in talks right now with some tour operators. Any of you horse lovers, if you want to join me, I'm going to be advertising for that pretty soon. We're going to be doing our first ride, and it's just the first of many to come. Okay, so there's like one trifecta. The other one is I started a home services company. It's called Service Pro Elite. And the company that I'm working with to kind of copy their model, they happen to focus on house cleaning. So I'm focusing on house cleaning at first, just because I'm in training with that company. And basically, the model of it is I can run this home services cleaning business from anywhere in the world. And I do advertising and marketing. When the jobs come in, I send out contractors to go do the work. And it's going to be great, guys. It's going to be great. I'm going to start off with the home cleaning as my niche, but then I'm going to add services on later, other home services like pressure washing and window washing and things like that. And I'm going to start off in one or two counties first, but then later I'm going to expand it. So more on that to come. This week actually is a big week for me because I just started marketing the business. So all of the foundation has been built, and now the marketing is happening, and we'll start getting cleaning jobs and I'll start booking them, and then my people will start going out to do the jobs. So that's the second leg of the trifecta. And the third one, so excited about. This one's right up here close to the passion business, the horse one. I have loved real estate forever, and I've been too afraid to get into it. About 2 years ago, I did make a $10,000 investment into a course. And sadly, it ended up kind of being a scam. Like by the second half of the first day of the course, they were already trying to upsell on like, if you really want to be successful in real estate, you need to buy the $50,000 package or program. And, you know, the $10,000 one, you know, it's not going to get you very far. And so my heart sank, and it was a bad first impression. But I didn't give up. I got a personal mentor after that, and the personal mentor was awesome while he lasted. But then he had like a midlife crisis, anxiety, panic attacks, different things were going on in his world, and he literally just dropped off the radar right in the middle of a transaction that I was doing with my dad out of state. So I'm sitting here in Idaho, and we have this fix and flip property in Alabama, and suddenly I have no mentor, and my dad's money is on the line. But I rallied myself, and I made phone calls, and we got the project finished, and we got it flipped, and I got my dad's money back for him. So that was another like a second, like barely got out of it, right? With a clean slate, but it worked. And I still am excited about real estate, even though it's been kind of a clunky start for me. So anyways, long story short, a lot of you, I'm sure, know about Pace Morby. He's a big influence on YouTube, and he has the Sub 2 community, which stands for Subject 2. And he's all about creative financing and works with investors, and they do creative financing deals that most traditional lenders and real estate agents are unfamiliar with, these creative financing approaches. So that I've always been intrigued with. I didn't pursue that. But then I heard about the Gator method, and it sounds amazing. So I enrolled in that program because it was a great way to get me in real estate with an amazing community of other investors. And hand in hand with the Gator program, there's a program called Top Tier TC, and it stands for Transaction Coordinator. Oh my gosh, you guys, that one really spoke to me because it's my natural skill set. Even when I bought this house here, I love checking things off, like thinking about what's coming up next, the deadlines, and what do I need to do to keep the ball rolling. It's just perfect for me. And so what a great way to dive headfirst into the real estate industry, to be both a Gator and a TC, a transaction coordinator. So I'll be learning the creative financing opportunities on the back end as a TC, and how to actually know all the nuances and how they work. And then as a Gator, I'll be helping to fund real estate opportunities and transactions. I'm going to go into more details about that later in other videos as I start interviewing people from this community. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Those three things: horse riding adventures, home services business, and the Pace Morby Gator method and transaction coordinator. So just wanted to catch everyone up to speed on my life. That's where I'm at, you guys. And can't wait for you to learn and grow along this journey with me. And side note, I did get the horse. I bought a horse. Before I even got to Florida, I bought the horse, and I shipped him down from Kentucky, and he's amazing, and he's boarded just 2 miles away from my house here, and I am able to go ride him several times a week. And yeah, it's been amazing. So moral of the story, what do you love? What would you love? Start journaling. And there's a whole nother life on the other side of that fear. And if you just keep focused on what would you love and keep making steps towards what you would love becomes a reality much sooner than what you would think. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. can't wait to do more videos with you, and see you next time.